pretty. And scarlet king snakes are black, red, and yellow. Does everybody know the rhyme?
No.
So there's no coral
Say it,
snake.
say it out loud.
Red to black, friend of Jack. Red to yellow, kill a fella.
Got it.
Say it. What?
Red touches black, friend of Jack. Red touches yellow, kill a fella. They're ring, red, black, and yellow. So you have to think about that. Just don't think about it. Awesome.
But nobody could identify it. I had to go on the web and
Yes.
send a picture.
Yes. It's an eastern milk snake. They're not very common. Most people have never seen them in this area before. And I just had a discussion with a trapper friend of ours who does some trapping for us and for anybody who needs trapping. He found some too. He actually got a call on them. He was getting them out of Lenny's house. And he ID'd them and thought, God, these are so long. So they are real. Cool find. Yeah, really cool find. King snakes are called, they probably get about 4 to 5 feet long. They're black with some yellow, and their undersides are yellow, black checkers. And they are called king snakes because they eat other snakes. And then you're going to see a corn snake also in this area, and they're pretty bright, reds and oranges and yellows, and they've got the checkering on the bottom as well, like Indian corn.
Do snakes like the pine snake as pets like to be handled, or do they just tolerate it?
I kind of think they just tolerate it.
That's what I would.
He loves to get out of his enclosure. He loves it. Matter of fact, I open the doors and he ambles out and we go play. You know, we've got some big rocks in the backyard and I put him on the rocks and let him cruise around. And I think they tolerate it, but for our snakes, because they're captive, it gets them out of their enclosures and they enjoy that. And all of our snakes we take out with the exception of a couple because they musk and it's really sticky. And we did have a copperhead and a timber rattlesnake on display. They died about a year and a half ago, and we're not going to replace them, but they're actually taxidermists, so I can have them mounted so they can keep teaching.
You said that you can't take the native snakes as a pet, but if you lived out west, would they have that same pet store?
I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe, possibly. And if you go to a pet store here in town, they're going to have some native snakes, like maybe a garter or a rat snake that you could buy as a pet. You just have to buy it from a legal source. Garter snakes do not make good pets, and they are not garden snakes. They are garter snakes, and they do not make good pets. They're all over the place. They're not easily handled. So don't get a garter snake. I would recommend a rat or a milk. Mm-hmm.
If you had a
What would you feed it? Mice and rats. So then, if you have a snake as a pet, you got to figure out where you're going to get mice and rats. Maybe, yeah. But typically, it's not a good idea to feed your pet snake a wild mouse or a wild rat because they've got some diseases, and you don't want your snake to get those diseases. But in the wild, it happens all the time. But because they're captive and you're handling them, you don't want to be able to pass those diseases.
Do these snakes generally prefer live rats and rodents?
In captivity, I think it's cruel to feed live because they're enclosed, they're in an enclosure. I have seen snakes with horrible bites from rats and mice. Horrible, horrible bites. So we feed dead. We feed dead. We feed dead to our all of our animals. Now the copperhead we had, every now and then she wouldn't eat at the beginning of the season, and I'd have to buy a live mouse to jumpstart her. But then from then on, she was pretty good. Snakes are not true hibernators. It's called brumation. It's similar to hibernation, but they don't actually go to sleep and stay asleep. They brumate. It's obviously cold. These guys are ectothermic. They can't regulate their temperature. So what they do is kind of go to sleep off and on in the winter. They don't eat, they don't hunt, they just sort of sleep in and out. So it's called formation. So typically in the winter you don't see snakes.
Like a worm, since you can dig in this
Yeah, yeah, and he's going to use his muscles to do that, to do the digging. And this guy has got that shovel-shaped cut, and he's going to use that. I think I have a snake though.
What states do the pine snakes?
What states do they live in? Another in Tennessee and Georgia. He's going to be mostly a southeastern snake. I don't think he belongs in the west. Any other snake questions? Eradicates when he has to, and he tries to relocate when he can. And he brings me nuisance beaver to feed the wolves, so that's a really good beaver.
Okay.
And the wolves love beaver. You know what? I don't know how old he is. He's an adult. We actually bought him from a legal breeder down in Florida. He shipped it up to us, FedEx, and I don't know how old he is. We've had him, it's been 5 or 6 years now. Eastern hognose is what's in this area. They are around, but to tell you how not prolific they are, I've been looking for one to have as an animal ambassador for 12 years. They're way cool. You can flip them over. You can flip over a hognose and they feign death. Flip them back over and they come back. Much like a possum. Yeah. Now, one thing about the hognose that makes them hard to keep in captivity is they feed on toads and frogs. And so I don't have a source for live toads and frogs. So they don't, they're not too good in captivity. But it sure would be cool to have one. Our educators are dying to have one so that they can show all the great things about them. And they're kind of wide at the top and taper down. And they've got a lot of variance in color. Make them look tough and like a viper. Yeah. Yeah, that's a hog nose. Okay.
Can you put him down on the ground? Because he keeps trying.
I'll put him down, but I'm going to hold on to him because he'll take off on me.
Is he fast?
He is. See how he's trying to burrow a little bit? This is what we do for fun at the Nature Center. We get the snakes out and take them for a walk. Yeah, he's really cool. So, rule of thumb, when you see a snake, don't pick it up. Don't approach it. Just look at it from a distance. Don't smush him. Yeah, don't smush him. Wait for him to leave. Warm up. Exactly. When they're on the roads, they're warming up. They're getting their body temperatures up so they can hunt for the day. Okay, I'm going to pick him up, and my last animal of the day is the Virginia opossum. I love opossums. I'm also a licensed wildlife rehabilitator, and opossums are my specialty. I have over 20 right now in rehab.